Hey guys, Junior here from Ascend AI Solutions. I thought I'd quickly walk you through an automation that I made using Make.com. And this automation is pretty useful to most businesses that might have a website or some type of contact form on that website. This automation is excellent to be able to allow customers to obviously record their contact information. The automation allows for the contact information to be stored on a CRM, or in this case, I'm going to use a Google Sheet. And then once the information is stored, we'll also send that information into an email, which that email will then notify the business owner that somebody has filled out the contact form. So this automation, it's pretty basic, but you'd be surprised how many businesses don't even have this type of automation in their on their website. So I just thought it'd be awesome to put something like this that you can do yourself. Anyone can do this type of automation. And if you're a business owner, this might be something that's useful to you. So first of all, I wanted to show you basically what site that I'm using. The platform that I'm using is called Make.com. Um, if you haven't seen it before, you simply just go to Make.com, and this is the site here. And I just encourage anyone who's looking at automating anything at all in your business included to come onto Make.com, because this site has over 10,000 connections to outside applications. Your Gmails, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, pretty much anything that you can think of can be connected through Make. Now, if you think of Make as the glue of applications on the internet, with Make.com, you're able to basically glue different applications together, trigger things, and perform actions. And by doing so, you're also able to automate the process. You can also use AI as part of that automation, to write emails, to do all kinds of things. It's pretty much the world is your oyster, and whatever you can dream up, you can pretty much make on Make.com. So I highly recommend that you register and create an account. If you need, I'll put a link in the description for anyone who might want to create an account there. But that's Make.com, and that's the platform that I'm using here. Now, I'll talk you quickly through the automation. So essentially what we'll be doing is, in this sense, we're going to be setting up a Google form. Now, this Google form can represent any type of form that you might have on a website, or anywhere that you can catch or record details of a customer. So, for example, on a website, you might have a contact form where people put in their information if they're interested in a service. That's an example. In this case, just as an example, I'm going to use a Google form, but you can use anything. Even if you have a website, there is ways that we can use Make.com to connect to your website using what we call webhooks, which is something that I might cover in a later video. But I want to quickly show you this automation, because this might be really useful to you. So essentially, first of all, so we're going to have a Google form. The Google form, imagine a customer comes onto the website or Google form and fills out their details, and they press submit. Now, when they press submit, what we want to happen is we want the information to then be saved somewhere, hence the Google Sheet that I have here. Then after it's been saved into the Google Sheet, as the business owner, we want to be notified that the information has been saved and that somebody has submitted their contact details to be contacted. And so, there's an old sales adage that, the quicker you can contact a lead, the higher the chance of converting that lead into a sale. So essentially, this really helps any business owners to really convert on those leads that come through. You don't want them to wait too long to be contacted. And so if you can automate that process by doing this sort of thing, this will really help with the sales. So let's get right into it. So after you've created your Make.com account, you'll essentially be taken to a screen that looks like this. and you want to click on this section here that says create a new scenario. Now, I'll just wait for that to load up. Now, when you're ready to create a new scenario, we'll just give it a name here really quickly, and we'll just call it Google Form Automation, or you could just call it Form Automation for yourself. And then you'll see that we got this big plus button in the middle here. So this is basically how we're going to start off our workflow. Now, Make.com allows you to create workflows and scenarios. And like I said, the world is your oyster with the types of automations that you can build. So let's start off here and let's click on this plus button. And the first thing that I want to start off here, like I said, if I was going to do it, connect this to a website that has a form already built into the website, I would use a webhook. Might cover this one later on in another video, but for this purposes of this video, just to keep it simple, let's just use a Google form. So I'm just typing in form and I've found a Google form. Now, when I click Google Form, you'll see that Make.com gives me various options and things that I can do with the Google Form. So with this automation, I can search through forms, I can create forms, update forms, I can watch responses on forms, I can list responses. You get the picture. So pretty much every single application that you connect into Make.com will have some kind of action or trigger that you can do. So for this case, for this scenario, what we want is we want a Google form. When someone fills in the Google form and submits a response, we then want this automation to watch for that response. So that's what I'll click here. So once I've clicked here, the next thing that it's telling me to do is it wants me to connect to my Google Form account. So I've already gone ahead and done this already, but I've connected essentially my email address, my Google Workspace account, which allows Make.com to access all of my my Google Sheets, my Google Forms, Google Documents. So I've got that connection already, but what you might need to do is you might need to click on add a connection, and then you name your connection, and then essentially you just click sign in with Google. And then when you sign in with Google, you essentially need to, why don't I just quickly show you what then. You click sign in with Google. You'll have a few different websites to choose from. Once I've clicked yeah, so now that I've clicked on, just pause this. Okay, now that I've clicked on add the account, it's just asking me now to sign in with Google. So I'll select my email address, and then it just asks me to basically it basically asks you to authorize the connection to Make. And so I'll just allow Make to do whatever it needs to do in order for this automation to work. So I'll just authorize it. And then I'll close that, and then the connection is there. So it says my Google connection because I should have changed the name of it already. But you get the picture. Essentially, you're just connecting your Google account, or you're just signing in with your Gmail. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to add a form ID. Now, let's just quickly go to Google Forms, and let's quickly create our own form for the purpose of this. So let's just call this test form. Actually, let's call this juniors form, and the form description is records customers details. And then we'll just put a couple of questions in here. So first one might be first name. The next one might be last name. probably should take an email. And then we've got maybe a phone number. It's just your basic contact form that you would have for customers. Okay, so and then the last one, maybe let's just try let's just try like a budget question. So make it multiple choice. Let's say option one will be um, you know my budget is zero to $1,000. Two can be $1,000 to $10,000. Number three can be 10,000. Should say 10,000 plus. Okay, excellent. And then, yeah, that should be sweet. Okay, perfect. So then let's just click on here just to preview the form. Okay, so we've got here Junior's form. It records customers' details, first name, last name, email, phone number, and then budget, and then submit. So essentially, someone fills out a form like this, and then and then we want the automation to flow. So once you've created the form, what you want to do is you want to go to the URL. So at the top of the page, you'll see the URL looks something like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, from the D, which stands for document, you want to copy the D. Copy from the D and then copy that. And then we'll go to Make.com. Under Form ID, I'm going to just click search. Actually, you know what? It should be fine. It's already got it there. And then, we'll leave the limit as 2. So that's just the number of submissions results it's going to be working through. Okay, so I'll click OK. And then from here, what we do is let's just test it. And we want to make sure that it's all connected. It's all hunky-dory, right? So what I'll do is I'll just go back to the form and I'll just quickly fill it out. So let's just say Junior. Oh, you know what? Maybe let's call myself Dwayne. Say Johnson, The Rock at gmail.com. Phone number is 1234567 and 910 10. And then the budget, let's say 10,000 plus because we're super rich. Okay, let's submit that. And now let's go back to Make.com. And if I click this run once button, we should see a green tick. It looks like everything went along correctly. And the way that you can check is under the section where it says output. It shows you what it's picked up. So so under answers to the form, if I click on last name, text answers 1, value is Johnson. So it's picked up the last name. It's also picked up Dwayne, the first name, budget. They're not necessarily in order of the form, but they're all there. And then, so on and so forth. So you get the picture. It's got our phone number there, and then also with our email, you can see that it's got the email there as well. Another quick way that you can check that the information's flowing through is if you just click on this little icon here and then click download output bundles, you'll see this coding is called JSON. It's a type of formatting. Look, I know it looks a bit crazy. It looks a bit scary, but I assure you it is not that difficult. JSON is just a way of formatting data. It's just the same way that it's just the same data that we've input, but it's just formatted this way so that the computer can understand it. Basically, the main things that you're looking for are the values. So Johnson's come through. You can see Dwayne, 10,000 plus, the phone number. So that's just at a glance a quick way to see that the automation is all connected. So now we know that as soon as somebody submits a form, this Make.com automation will look for the submissions and it will take the responses. Now, once it's taken the responses, we don't want it just to sit here. We want it to go somewhere. We want it to put it on a Google Sheet or a CRM if you have your own. So, for the purposes of this, we're just going to store it to a Google Sheet. And same sort of thing, I've selected Google Sheets, and then there's various functions and actions that are possible with this. So what I'll do is I'm going to look for one that says add a row. So essentially, what we're telling it to do is that when the Google form picks up all that information, we want it to then send that information over to a Google Sheet and put it in a row, in a new row. So what we need to do is we need to select our account. So you can see that that Make.com already remembers the email that we connected earlier. So I'll just put my email there, and then what we want to do is we want to change this to select from all. And then same sort of thing like we did with the Google Forms, how we had a form ID. This time we need a spreadsheet ID. And I just realized I haven't created a spreadsheet for this. So what we're going to quickly do is we're going to quickly create a Google Sheet. Okay, so now I'm in Google Sheets, and so we'll quickly create ourselves a new spreadsheet, and we'll use this spreadsheet to record contacts. So let's just name this one. Let's just call it. Internet's a bit slow today. Okay, so just call it Juniors Form Submissions. That's not how you spell submissions. Okay, Juniors Form Submissions, and then essentially what we'll do here is we'll create a table that has all the headings that our form had. So, for example, we got first name, last name, we had email, we had phone number, and we had budget. And just to make it look pretty, I'm just going to shade it gray and just make the writing white. Okay, so we've got all the cell numbers A, B, C, D, and E. This is important to remember because we're going to use these cell numbers when we create the automation later. But essentially, whenever someone submits a form, like we did before, it will feed through to the spreadsheet, and their name will be recorded under name will be recorded, the email will be recorded, and phone will be recorded, budget, so on and so forth, under the appropriate heading. And so what we want to do is we want to the same sort of thing. So remember how we needed the ID for the form? We now need the ID for this Google Sheet, and it's in the same place. So just after that letter D, which stands for document, / this is the ID here. So if I just copy this, go back to Make.com, and if I just paste in the ID, it should connect. Yep, and it's connected fine. And then what we want to now do is we want to map. So I'll show you what mapping is. So essentially, there's only one sheet in the account. In the form. So what we now want to do is we want to map each of the headings from the Google Forms over to the Google Sheets. So, for example, in the first name, so you can see that that Make.com has already picked up the headings in the Google Sheets. So first name was in column A, last name was in column B, so on and so forth. So now we need to tell the Make.com what to put in the columns from the Google Forms. Now remember, the columns from the Google Forms, the details have already come through. So it's already fed through. So what we want to do is we want to map this so that Make.com knows where then to put the information in this transfer of information, basically. So the way that we do is we click on, so with first name, so under the first name heading, you can see here that it's brought up the connection to the Google form. And so what we want to do is we want to map this. So we want anywhere under the column first name A, we want the first name to be put there. So what you do is you click on these. You don't want to click first name. Sorry. You want to drill right down. So I clicked on first name. I'm drilling down to text answers. I'm drilling down to answers, and you want to get right down to value. So it's really important that you map value. So I'll click on value, and you'll see that it then pastes that piece of coding. So we've essentially mapped where the Google form is going to put that into the Google Sheet. And then we do the same thing with last name. So we look for last name in the Google Sheet. We keep drilling down till we see value. Remember, value is really important. If you do anything else, it's not going to work properly. So next thing was email. So we want to drill right down. Text answers, value was that one. And then phone, we want to do phone, text answers, value. And then the last one was budget. Remember, we're drilling right down. You want to make sure you get all the way down to value. Okay, and it looks like we've mapped it. Do you know what I should have also done? No, I'm going to go back to the Google form, and I might also add one more column. That's the date. And we'll just chuck this in here. And I'll show you something cool in Make. So budget, column F. Column F is just going to be, which is already that one. Yeah, column F. So in column F, we want this to be the date. And so instead of selecting one of these, you can just simply go up here into these tabs. And if I click on date and time, and I click on now, it's basically going to put whatever the time down to the minute, I think, even seconds, when the submission was made. And then that's all we need to do for that part. And then I'll click OK. And so what we want to now do is let's rerun the automation. So I'll click choose where to start. I'll just click all, and then I'll click OK. And then let's move aside, and then let's just run it. Okay, perfect. So the Google form has picked up that original. Let's just make sure. What's that first name? Text answers. Make sure that it says Dwayne. Yep, Dwayne. So that's gone through. And then the Google form has now flown through to the Google Sheet. And let's just double check that that's gone through correctly. So you can see under output that some rows have been updated. So we simply need to just check the sheet, and we should see that, so Dwayne Johnson, The Rock at Gmail, phone number, $10,000 budget, and the date and time. Now, what Make does is it just copies the formatting of the first heading. So I'm just going to change the formatting, because it just looks a bit weird. Just change it back to normal, just so that for future ones. Okay, perfect. So there you have it. So we've successfully created the automation where somebody submits a response into the Google form, and then once it's in the Google form, it goes directly, is saved to the Google Sheet. Now we don't want this automation just to end here. The last thing we want to do is we want the information in the Google Sheet to be sent to me if this was my business and someone's filled out a contact information. We want this information to be sent to me as in an email telling me to contact the client because they've just submitted the the form, because remember, speed is key when trying to close a hot lead. So let's do that last automation. So if I click on this plus symbol, what I want to do is I want to add my Gmail account to it. And the last thing we want it to do is we want it to send an email. So can you see already how Make.com makes things really, really simple, and how it's pretty much moving a few modules around and then following the prompts. Okay, so my email has already been connected. Now I will let you know that in order to connect the Gmail email, you need to make sure that your Gmail email is a business email, or any other email that you use, and must be a business email. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems. Now, if you want to use a personal email, that can be done. There's just a bit of a workaround where you need to essentially go and authorize. You need to go to Google Cloud, and you need to uh, basically give permission to Make.com to access your personal email. And so there's just a bit of a workaround. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but I am saying that there is a bit of work involved. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. There's also a resource in Make.com. I might just link the URL to that resource that tells you how to do that. But for the purpose of this, as long as you have a business email, you should be sweet. If you want to use a personal email, you can do it. There's just a bit of a workaround that you need to do, and I'll link that in the description. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's continue on. Okay, so we want to send an email. Who do we want to send it to? In this case, we're just going to send it to ourselves. So I'm just going to put my email address, sendaiSolutions@gmail.com. Now for the subject, let's just say, let's call it new lead. You know what? And I saw someone else do this, but let's use an emoji, because I think emojis are awesome. Let's put a fire emoji. You absolutely don't have to do this at all, but I just think this is cool. So I'm just going to add a fire emoji to my subject line, because there's nothing better than seeing a new lead come in and there's an emoji, and just gets you pumped up and excited. Okay, anyway, so now what we want to do is we're telling it that when the Google Sheet gets that information, we want Make.com to then send us an email with the information. The email will go to Ascend AI Solutions. The subject of the email will be new lead with an emoji, yay. And then the content is basically what's going to be in the email. So it's going to be pretty simple. So in the content, I would, you can just write congratulations. You can pretty much write, so congratulations on the new lead. And then let's put some spaces down here, and then this is where we put the information so that we got. So name, email, phone, and then budget, and then and then here. So so that's perfect. So then here is where you map the information that we got. So you'll now see on the right hand side here. I'm just going to move my face out of my beautiful face out of the way, and then okay. So on the right here, you'll see that it's already giving us a few different things that we can map to this, but we're only interested in what came through on the Google form. So what we want to do is we want to click, like we did before, for name, go right down until we get to value. And then for name, we also want the last name to be there too. So we'll drill right down, value. And then for email, same sort of thing. We're just drilling right down. And then with phone, just drilling right down. And then budget, drilling right down till we get to value. And all we're doing is we're mapping the fields that were filled out. Now, because this is Gmail, so you notice here is how it says you can use HTML tags. If I were just to leave things as is, it's because it's HTML, it's not going to recognize the spaces that I've put in. So you have to use like HTML language. So I'm pretty sure it's for a line break, it's like BR /. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these breaks. I'm going to put a double break there, and then I'm going to put a break here, a break here, break here, and that'll be it. Just so that like when the email comes through, it doesn't all look like one big, chunky slab of information. And then look, there's even the option here to add an attachment as well to the email. Because it's just coming to us, we don't need an attachment. But this might be something useful if you're ever sending an email to a customer automatically. Okay, so let's click OK. And hopefully that works. So let's just go back here and choose where to start. Let's just start it again. So I don't have to keep filling out that form. Oh, you know what? Just for the sake of it, let's just start from now on. And let's pretend we're a new customer. So I'm going to submit another response to our form. So let's say my first name was Elon. My surname was Musk. And it's Elon Musk at gmail.com. Phone number is, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. And then, yeah, he's got 10,000 plus for sure. And then let's click submit. Okay, your response has been recorded. Now let's see if Elon Musk's submission has come through. I'm just going to move this to the side here for this little bit. And I'm going to click run once. Okay. Something is happening. And pretty cool, but I'm just looking at my phone and I can see that I've got an email that's come through. Just quickly show you that. 1 second. Okay, so I don't think you can see that, but it looks like it's worked. So it essentially says new lead. Yeah, this camera is not going to be very good, but basically what we're saying, congratulations on the new lead, name Elon Musk, email Elon Musk at gmail.com 1234. So it's worked perfectly fine. So it's gone through here. If I just open this up, I just click on this one. Yeah, so you can see here that it's typed out the email. So the content of the email, congratulations on the new lead, Elon Musk. Yep. So that's worked perfectly, and that's pretty much the automation there. So what we've done, we created an automation that records any submissions from a Google form or from a website form. It then stores that information, and then it emails us, the business owner, straight away to make sure that we get on the phone and contact that lead. Now, there's so many ways that you can change this. There's so many things you can do with this scenario. So, for example, you can create another email module to send the client an email to say, "Hey, we'll contact you, in the next day or so. Thank you for your submission. Someone will be in contact with you." You can even you can even connect. The possibilities are endless. The other day I was thinking about this, and I thought, because I play around with, not play around with, but I work with and create AI voice agents. And another thing that you can do is when someone clicks submit on the form, you can, using Make.com, do the same process but connected to an AI voice agent who then will contact and call the person that made the submission and then ask them some qualifying questions. and set an appointment for someone to then go on and you know whatever that is. So that was just something that I'm working through in my mind. But if you want me to build that, I'm pretty sure yeah, I can do that for you. I can make another video about that. But that's essentially what 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 this automation can do. You'd be surprised at how many businesses don't have this type of automation, such a simple automation. And then there's just so many things that can be built off of this to make the client experience so much better. Um, if it can be automated, it should be automated. That's my motto. I hope you found this video valuable, and I hope that you'll be able to build this yourself. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. If you need any assistance with building any automations, this is what we do here at Ascend AI Solutions. We build out automations for businesses using AI platforms like this, and you'll be amazed at what AI can do. And yeah, Junior is my name once again. If you have any questions or need anything at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.